This advice could really change your life. I know it did mine.
Feeling Good with Noah Hammond Tyrrell.
Hello my friends, Noah Hammond Tyrrell here, back with another video. I share these videos to spread love, to help you feel good naturally, to help the world continue to evolve into a better and better place as humanity evolves into a better and better place. And I'm shooting this video from my home today because there's a piece of wisdom, guidance that has been really prevalent in my experience. I think it's literally being asked of all of us to see this, and it'll change your life if you follow along with what I'm talking about here today. And I'll say it very directly, I won't get too metaphorical. As you continue down your path of evolution, as you become a more conscious, more loving, more successful, more dynamic, more skilled, more rich, more fulfilled person, as you grow into depths of fulfillment in your life, as you expand in your awareness, what will naturally happen is as you gain more awareness, you will see others' lack of awareness more clearly. It's a very simple concept, right? If I'm a master dentist, then the person who is an apprentice dentist, I will see where he's making mistakes, where he could have done things better, right? As an example. And if you're talking about someone who's meditating, or if you're talking about being an entrepreneur, obviously the experienced entrepreneur is going to see obvious mistakes that the newer entrepreneur is making, right? And that's just the fact of any development in life. The trick though is that when you're developing in consciousness, meaning you're developing your loving awareness or your depth of presence, or you're on a quest of self-realization, right? Whatever that means for you, it's about being better today than you were yesterday. And what happens is it's easy to see as you go down that path ways in which people aren't seeing their own lack of awareness. Now, for the most extreme example, put yourself at the feet of a master, talking about a spiritual master who can literally see in your coding every insecurity that's programmed into you, every false belief, every piece of karmic blockage or energetic debris or emotional damage or whatever it is that you're carrying that's not truth. They can literally see all of it, right? So if they fell victim to what I'm talking about here, then they would harshly judge you. Look at this person with all these limiting beliefs and all this emotional blockage and all this stuff to figure out and work out. Like, look at this mess in front of me. Right? But that's not what masters do. They beam love. That's what masters do. That's how you know if someone is a self-realized being, is that they literally only beam love. No matter what's going on, even if they're in the midst of dealing with challenge and adversity, it's still done in a state of recognizing, understanding, embodying the pure love that is consciousness, that is this world, that is all creation. Right? That's self-realization, is to realize oneself as one with the divinity. So self-realized master who can see all your faults and foibles and everything that's yet to be realized within you, they're just pure love, right? But what we do as we're learning more and understanding more about our diet, more about meditation, more about how our programming works, more about all these things, what do? We project our anger onto others. Like, why doesn't this person understand that? Oh, they're doing that pattern. They're in that relationship. They're in the same relationship they were in last time. I don't get it. Why doesn't Janet just realize that she's self-sabotaging? Why doesn't this person realize they're doing this? And we get all upset. Or we have these higher expectations, right? If we're evolving at a faster rate than other people around us, or we're perceiving ourselves to be evolving at a faster rate than others around us, then we get upset. Why don't they change along with me, right? And then we try to help them, right? But it's coming from this place of judgment, right? Oh, you should be doing this because this isn't working for you and this is why and yada yada, right? Basically, here's the simple of the advice. Anytime we judge anything for any reason, we are creating our own fall from grace. The truth is that everything is divine, everything is perfect, everything is love, everything is consciousness, everything is bliss. Even the perceived things or structures or ideas or ideologies or people or acts that we deem easily definable as bad, terrorism and mass shootings and things that anyone would agree, like this is bad. It's all actually perfection. It's why the war on drugs doesn't work. It's why the war on terror doesn't work. The war on anything is to basically say there's something here that's wrong. And in order to say there's something here that's wrong, you must fall down to the judgment of the duality and the level of consciousness that sees and perceives duality. Meaning you must leave the state of love, of oneness, to come into duality and judgment, period. So it doesn't matter how right you might be in your judgment. It doesn't matter if Janet is in a codependent relationship for the 4th time in a row and she's not seeing clearly. The second that you have anything to say about it other than love, the second that your being is in any space about it other than love, you have taken your own fall from grace. You have been tricked by your own increased awareness, and the ego has usurped the throne of your consciousness. And that's what the ego wants to do every chance it can get. It wants to pull you back in to you're a human, here are your 5 senses, here's why you should be in fight or flight, here's why you need judgments, here's why this is a game of survival, and here's how you need to act inside of this game of survival. But the masters don't operate there. People who've totally transcended and slain the demon of their ego and kept the useful part of the ego as their servant, not their master, they don't act like that. It's like that story of the warlord who comes into the town and the spiritual master doesn't leave and everybody else runs, and the spiritual master doesn't stand when the warlord enters the temple, and the warlord goes up to the spiritual master and says, "Do you know who I am? I could put this sword right through you without a second thought." And the spiritual master says, "Do you know who I am? I could let you put that sword right through me without a second thought." And in that moment, the warlord was changed, and he bowed, and he asked for guidance and teaching, and took the spiritual master on as his teacher, right? And I'm sure I butchered that story, but that's the gist of it, right? The moment we fall from grace is the moment we perceive anything as wrong. Doesn't matter how much evidence you have. It's why what's going on in the world right now is a joke. Whether you believe in this or don't believe in that, whether you want to watch the left news or the right news, both of them are wrong, because they both have nothing to do with what we're talking about here. Oneness. They both have opinions, they both have judgments, they both have righteousness, they both have we're right and they're wrong, we're good and they're bad, and that proliferates an energy of separation. When I believe that what's really being asked of us right now is to move towards oneness in a way that will ultimately deeply challenge us, but ultimately unite humanity. My Guru says, humanity are uniting religion. We're all part of humanity, right? Breath are uniting prayer. We all breathe. And consciousness are uniting God. We are all one with consciousness, right? We are all part of that. And the reason he says those things is because it's the philosophy that can unify humanity as one peaceful coexistence on this planet. So what I would encourage people to do, to not get too long-winded with this video, but what I would encourage people to do is to notice where you want to judge. And then instead of judging, simply blast love instead. Like consciously in your mind, see the thing you want to judge, and instead of judging it, generate the feeling of love and send that feeling to that thing. Like you can see it as white light, or you can literally see it as hearts shooting the thing, whatever engages you. But that's what will ultimately heal your own fall from grace. Because that's what this is really about. You know, the masters, great masters like Paramahansa Yogananda said that to enlighten yourself is to literally uplift millions. And Dr. Hawkins and his work kind of confirms that. It's one person actually exiting the duality while here to serve us, like a Jesus or like a Buddha or like a Krishna or like any of these great saints and sages that have walked the earth and shared the light of divinity in form, Anandamoyi Ma, for the female side of things in the 20th century. These beings are here to show us what it's like to literally hold a vibration of love, unity, consciousness all the time. No matter what perceived wrongdoings or right doings or not doings or should doings are happening in front of us. And if you take this to the parts of yourself that you want to judge, and by the parts of yourself, I mean everybody else that you perceive as separate from you. You want to judge me? Judge me. But I am you, and you are me, and we are one. And the collective consciousness is not just a concept. You can use different sciences and different experiments to verify it. And that's why we're all feeling so pulled apart right now, is because what's actually being asked of us is to come into greater unity than ever before. And I really truly believe that the birthing of unity consciousness on this planet as a dominant field and way of operating is imminent. And so the way you play your part in that, and the way you honestly get a lot more peace, love, acceptance, joy, satisfaction, and presence in your own life, is by seeing the parts of other people and the parts of things and that out there which you care to judge, because you know better than they do and you can see clearly. I'm speaking to myself really here. Every time that part of you kicks in with something to say, love blast instead. And especially love blast the things that you want to judge the most, or the people that you perceive have hurt you the most. They are our greatest teachers, and they are here to be the catalyst of our deeper and deeper and deeper oneness and communion with universal love, which is unconditional love. All right, conditional love, that's human stuff. That's animal stuff. I love you today because you're looking sexy. I don't love you tomorrow because you said something that triggered me, or you're not looking sexy, or whatever, right? That's conditional love. I'm talking about universal love. I'm talking about the kind of love that people talk about when they have near-death experiences and they're physically dead for 15, 20 plus minutes. And where are they? They're off having some experience in a divine love that they cannot express words with, or they cannot express in words. But it's just the closest word to it is love, bliss, ecstasy, right? That's what we truly are. And the way that the cycles are going right now, we are in a cycle of enlightenment. It just is what it is. This universe, this 3D universe, it goes through cycles of enlightenment and darkness. All right, we have dark ages and we have ages of enlightenment. And right now we are in an age of enlightenment. So I'll keep this video short. I won't go too much further with things, but I deeply believe that this is what's being asked of us as a collective. And so each of us individually doing this is what will cause a ripple of love to ground in on this planet vibrationally. And I'll tell you, just for the pragmatic part of you, the brain, the logic mind, this stuff works tangibly in the world. Things that you wouldn't believe will happen if you just love blast them. I'll give you a direct example. As I was moving here, I moved into another place, ended up having some water damage. The landlord, who basically lied to us because we were coming from out of state, he was kind of cool, but then he got really not cool. And I literally thought, I'm going to have to take this all the way to court and be bothered by that to get my money back. But I love blasted every night. Sending this guy love, sending this whole situation love. My wife was doing it too. Then we get a call, and the guy's tone had completely changed. He refunded every cent of anything we'd ever sent him. And I didn't have to bother with court, and I didn't have to do any of that. I just got a check in the mail and moved on with my life. And this is after the guy had been very aggressive and standoffish and telling us we were liars and all these things. Then we get a call, a total 180. I mean, I picked it up like expecting to be in an argument, and instead I got this wonderful tone and this great news. So I just want to give that for your tangible, logical part of your brain, that this stuff will actually create transformational results in your life as well. And on a larger essence, or a more macro scale, what it's doing is it's transforming your being into a oneness with love. And every time you can find love and be love and send love, you become a pillar of love for this planet and for those you serve and for those in your family. And even if the people in your family could never hear words like these words, could never bother to participate in a conversation about conscious evolution, sending them love is doing more than enough for them. And it's certainly doing more than your judgments or your gripes or complaints about these people. So be like the giving tree, right? This tree, it just gives love, right? It's got so many grapefruits in it, and it just offers them, and it doesn't ask for anything in return, and it just does that naturally. And that's kind of what we can do too, in a different way. So sending you lots of love. I'm here with you on this journey of whatever you want to call it: awakening, ascension, learning to have it all, to live the good life, to feel good in body, mind, and soul, to feel good in your spirit, to feel good in your body, to feel good in your emotions, to feel fulfilled and purposeful in your life. I'm with you on this journey, and I guess Lady Bell is saying she is too. Say hi, Lady Bell. Lady Bell needs a trim on her face. So anyway, sending tons of love, my peoples. Be good, do good, feel love, send love. Talk soon.